This program is staunchly anti-socialist. I am personally shocked by the movement's growing popularity among millennials. Well, look at this. 44% of people, this is a Forbes poll, they're polled millennials, 44% would prefer to live under a socialist system. Utterly astonishing. Come on in, Marion Smith. He is the executive director of the Victims of Communism Memorial Foundation. All right. Marion, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me on.
Obvious question right from the get-go. Why do 44% of millennials think socialism is just a fine place to be?
Well, I think one thing is that millennials have grown up in a world where the Iron Curtain has already collapsed. The Soviet Union is no more. Another reason is that they have attended a high school. I'm a millennial. I'm fortunate that I had a wonderful homeschool and private education. But you do see that in high schools, Howard Zinn, a Marxist historian, is the most assigned historian. Karl Marx is the most assigned economist. They're taught a withering critique of the United States and our history.
Serious? I mean, if you look at high school curricula, the history curriculum, that guy, Mr. Zen, Professor Zen, he's the most referenced.
Well, there's definitely, yes. I mean, that is a book that is assigned to high school students in history courses. And across the board, in terms of the curriculum, you have a Marxist interpretation of the United States. You're taught to hate our own society, imperfect though it may be. And then many of us arrive in college, and the only time we hear Marxism or communism is as an apologia for those ideas that they've just never been enacted correctly. Although since 1917, the Bolshevik Revolution, we've seen 40 countries experience communist rule, more than 100 million people killed in those societies as a matter of policy in peacetime by their governments. And every single experiment ended up either a collapsed economy or a totalitarian police state. So it has a 100% track record of failure. I'm
not prepared to throw in Western European socialism, and I think it is a socialist, it is basically watered down socialism. I'm not prepared to equate that with the communism of the USSR. I think there's a huge difference between the two.
Absolutely. Bernie Sanders 3 years ago referred to, when asked what is democratic socialism, he tried to point to Denmark. The then Prime Minister of Denmark said, no, we're not a socialist society, we're a free market economy. So I think you can have societies like in Europe talking about a high-tax welfare state, and that's one thing. You're absolutely right that socialism and communism, these Marxist interpretations of the individual and its relationship to the state, are very much interrelated. Marx and Engels didn't make any great distinction between the two, except to say that, you know, communism is the ultimate sort of utopian end goal that socialism is headed to. I like to say that, you know, Christians go to heaven and socialists go to communism.
Yeah, not bad, not bad, not bad. You've got to be working on Venezuela.
Absolutely.
I mean, because they appear to have gone from democratic socialism straight towards Soviet communism almost.
Well, what you had 20 years ago was Hugo Chavez running as a democratic socialist. The United States was the boogeyman. You know, capitalism was responsible for all the ills in society. At that time, however, Venezuela was one of the most prosperous countries in the Western Hemisphere. Chavez was supported by the Cuban communists, and then he was succeeded by Nicolas Maduro, who has furthered, since he was elected, the undermining of the institutions in Venezuelan society, the judiciary, the elected parliamentary assembly, the National Assembly, and has enacted a coup. And that is what the Venezuelan people are trying to prevent right now. And so we're at a crisis point. And if Maduro is not relieved of his position, because he is an illegal thug trying to exercise power right now. He is not the legitimate leader. But if he is not removed by the Venezuelan people, we will see the Western Hemisphere's second Marxist dictatorship solidified with the support of the Cubans.
We don't want that.
No.
Marion Smith, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
I'm sure you'll be back. Appreciate it, sir. All right, everyone, there will be more Varney after this.